Welcome back to the TB Podcast, coming to you recording live from Paradigm 2019 here in Melbourne. And it is very rare that you get to not only share a couch with perhaps your ultimate musical idol, but just a life role model, Mr. Yuli Fershtat, Perfect Stranger. Thank you very much for being here, sir.
Great to be here.
He has just finished playing the beautiful techno on the Bush Techno Stage here, just before about to go to his club gig at My Aeon. We really appreciate your time. It's very rare that I get stuck for an opening question, my friend. But I guess tell us about, like, this is not your first time to Australia. You've played Paradigm and these sort of events many before, Electric Parade. What's the vibe like and the energy that you're getting from the crowd?
Well, in general, Australia is my probably favorite destination on the globe, and I have so many reasons for it, and I communicate really well with the crowd and with whatever is here in general. You know, since before I've been a DJ, collecting music, making music, I've been really in love with this continent. Yep. And it never changed. And
well, the thing that never changes though is, for example, tonight when the weather goes a lot wet, and the crowd can be thousands or dozens, and your show is immaculate regardless. The way that you connect with people, like, how does that feel to know that your music is hitting everyone, whether it's a massive crowd or...
It doesn't really matter to me, to be honest, and if I can say, I actually prefer the smaller parties.
Yes.
It's like... Well, generally speaking, if it was my choice, I wouldn't be performing, because I'm just a guy to sit in the house and do his geeky things, rather than perform and be good looking and whatever, you know. It's not my style, you know. And somehow I feel much more comfortable with smaller amounts of people, because you can actually share the energy in a more personal way, you know. When you're performing 10,000 people, then it's amazing, it's mind-blowing, and we share these moments like in Boom, or you know, in Ozora, or like in Rainbow Serpent, and it's amazing. I mean, like, it's hard to compare. However, when you play little events, and you can look everyone in the eye, you know, and you can communicate with every person, I don't know. For me, it's at least you cannot compare, but at least as equal, at least equal. But in many ways, the personal thing that you have going there is worth more to me.
Yeah, and when you're making the music itself. I guess the frequencies of the universe and the connecting. Do you take that into account when you're making a song like Manifestation? Because that is the best song that you will ever listen to, ladies and gentlemen. Manifestation, Perfect Stranger.
Actually, Manifestation I wrote because of my wife.
Okay, please tell me more. What was the creative process behind that one?
Well, the thing is that, first of all, about the beginning of your question. In the early days, like, I'm making music over 20 years. Yeah. So in my early days of Perfect Stranger, a lot of music was exactly like you're actually explained. It was like channeling in a way, you know. I'm not a professional musician. I really was an idiot not to take, because all my family are pianists, you know.
Yeah, right.
And really good pianists. And like at the age of 10, I told my mom to bugger off.
Yeah, so you didn't have any sort of musical training growing up?
So I had, and I remember the theory, but I never practiced. And even when I was like, okay, I succeeded with the Perfect Stranger project, now I have much more time to bring some Russian teacher, you know, the one that like, and I just didn't do it because I'm a lazy bastard. You know? That's the sad truth about it, you know.
Sorry to cut you off, but it does sound like I'm having a conversation with myself, because I grew up with grandparents that are country and western singers on both sides, and I had instruments and guitars thrown at me, and I never really took to them. But now I'm just loving it, and many of our audience are in the same boat where. Growing up, they probably didn't have that. So
the thing is, when I started making electronic music, I was actually playing both the piano and the guitar. It's like I wouldn't say I was a really amazing guitar player, but I did nicely, actually.
Yep.
But there's a thing about making electronic music that involves computers.
Yeah.
It just basically breaks down your musicality because you all are you doing is doing these little cubes and you know and eventually you forget your because it's a lot about technique and muscles on your fingers and the way you use them, you know.
Sure.
Anyway, so back then I was a lot like not being a professional pianist. I was a lot channeling. I don't know how to explain it, but some really famous tracks of mine were written probably in matter of 6 hours, and they were I don't know how to explain it. It's not I was super high on drugs and it just happened.
Yes.
I was not. It just happened, you know. I just felt what I need to do.
Yes.
Call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
Manifestation was written much later, and it was written because my wife, she's an avid fan of Eckhart Tolle and of all the likes, and she's really into it. She's like, and I became kind of a hooked because actually it's true.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and listening to what she listens in the kitchen, I was like, I like that stuff. Maybe I just take a little bit of that, and I used that like I took some speech and used it, and I'm gonna do it in the future because I think the really nice thing about this music that doesn't have words in it.
Yes.
So it is few times that you put words in it, words with meaning, words that
have more impact.
Can change, you know, make the difference. It's really good to put them in the right spot and that just make this difference. It's awesome.
And it's,
I'm glad that you know this.
Yes. One thing I like to say about the good techno is it doesn't need words because your brain makes up the words for you and you can.
Yeah, that's correct. I believe in it.
Another of your songs which we adore is 6 Feet Under. Angels. What's the what was the creative process like doing that one with the remix as well with Captain Hook?
Well, that's a really special track that you're talking about because in fact it was written back in 1999.
Oh, really? Yes.
Yeah, well, so the true story, the real story behind the track. I wrote the track as BLT in 1999. And I sold that track to a label, non-existing label by the name of Shuffle. It was a Chemical Crew, DJ Skazi label back in the day. Yep. And they wanted to make some compilation with it. And then the label group, they broke down. They basically get bankrupt or they stopped releasing.
Oh, okay.
So basically this track, I sold it, but it never saw light of day because I couldn't release it.
Yep.
And so when I became Perfect Stranger, what I did, I remixed it in a little slower pace, using that sample from Jacob's Ladder, and you know, it's amazing sample as well, you know, and it became a really monumental track for Perfect Stranger, and then, well, I stopped playing it, you know, because I don't know, I didn't realize then that people still bring me to play because of stuff I've been writing 13, 15 years ago. It's crazy. I didn't understand it until 2 years ago.
Yep.
When I understood it, I started thinking, hey, I need to play that stuff again, you know? Yeah. But the one guy that understood it before me is a smart guy, he's an amazing sound engineer and musician. Yeah. His artist name is Captain Hook. And he was playing that track 12 BPM high, because it's 126, you know, he was playing in 140, 14 BPM, banging it, and it's working. And he goes like, man, I want to remix it. I said, please have a go.
Yes.
And then he did what he did, and so now we're all playing it.
So with a tune like that, I guess it's that are being reinvented now. Is that a lot of the concepts behind the releases for the 11 album? Because there are a lot of, I guess, remixes from some of your older tunes there, or?
Well, the thing about the 11 album is like, about I think 2 or 3 years ago, they coming up an idea that it would be nice to summarize my communication and work with the Iboga label. Sure. Because it moves beyond Perfect Stranger. They were releasing on vinyl music that I was making as BLT in Omega before. And
where can we find the BLT stuff? Is that still?
Sorry?
Where can we find the BLT?
Probably in trash bins around the globe. Yeah. Well, I stopped making BLT back in 2005, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's a good music. I mean, you know, lots of people still like it, and I get a lot of response on it. But personally, I'm behind that. I'm past that.
Yeah, sure.
Meaning, and there were really amazing ideas and great collaborations with great musicians, by the way. But I don't think I'll be reviving it anytime soon. However, there was really nice music written then, and what I did, I just ripped it because it's mine. I can do it, you know? And so I made it a Perfect Stranger track. So they were reborn. Some of them, like what's that? Bad memory. Okay, there were a few of them. Yes. So and they were really successful because it's a good music. You know, just you need to update it to make it more to the time.
Sure.
You know, and where were we?
So with your sets, how much do you prepare before you play, based on the type of event, or are you just going off feel of the crowd?
It depends, really. Thing is that I do have, because I play mix and key. That means I play according to scales.
Yeah, sure.
So
when you prepare your set, you prepare it in key?
I basically have stems or bunches of tracks that are going together well and can make long mixes.
Sure.
And then I just play with them, you know. Yeah. And then
so when you put your USB in, you're not necessarily picking a song, you're picking the stems.
But also so I have I'm working with a record box, which is amazing software. It's awesome, and it allows you to arrange your music the way you like to arrange it. And so my music is arranged by stems, by root notes, and then I have all them bunches, you know. So I can just jump to this bunch and then to that bunch, and I can, like, it's easy to make it flawlessly. The thing is that many times I decide to play DJ set and not Perfect Stranger orientated, and then I would do something completely different, especially if I have a long set like in Nehemiah, for instance. But
that was a 5-hour set that turned into an 8-hour set, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nehemiah 2014, 2015.
Yeah, that happened. And but when I have shorter sets like these, then I choose to play only the Perfect Stranger material, and then I have it more in order, you know.
So how do you prepare for something like Boom, or even, I remember you played at Boom last year. I think I must have almost been on the same plane as you, because I left the day
Was it the one after Asterix?
You played at Boom, and then you came and played here and did a Perfect Stranger 4-hour set.
In the club.
So those kind of sets, are you... do you have a structure in mind, because it is a feature when it's just you, or compared to?
Well, in Boom it was a planned set.
Yeah.
Because it's like it has to be on time.
Yeah. Do you have to time code?
And you have to be on top of your game completely. You know. It's very hard to play a gig like that and still going like, I gonna improvise. You know. It's like don't have large enough balls to do that, you know? So that's I pre-plan it, and of course, if I see that my plan is not working, I do have
you've got the
alternative routes, but it's planned. When I came to play the club, it was not, of course. But you know, when you play so many gigs, then you already have these these bunches of stems that you know where you put them, you know. But for our set, you cannot plan it. It's too long.
Have you ever made a mistake playing live that was an easy mistake that someone could make?
Yeah, of course.
I'm just trying to stir you up, because at that club gig, you remember, everyone thought the show had finished. When you, I remember I actually sent you a message about it. What happened when you played here? The tunes went down. You thought the decks had froze.
Oh yeah,
do you remember that? Yeah. And do you want to tell us what actually happened?
Well, actually, I don't really remember, but I think I stopped the wrong CD.
I think someone had bumped the crossover button. The DJ played before.
No. Okay, I know what happened. Who played before me? Was Tad? It was Tad playing before me, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tad, it mixes with the fader.
Yeah.
And I always check if somebody before me mixes with a fader, I fix it on the CDJ. Yes. So if it moves to the wrong side, you can't hear it. But in this case, I completely forgot that he's playing with a fader. And then, it's moved there, and then I was like, what's going on?
Well, because it was a nice, lovely breakdown as well. And it was like right at 4 o'clock.
It's supposed to be playing, but it's not. That's what's going on there.
Kids, check all the buttons, all the knobs,
check your crossfader. Yes. If it's in the middle, it's good. On the sides, bad.
Is there a festival that you are yet to play at that you would like to play at?
Yes,
Which one?
Fusion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they actually they were calling me in this year and then disappeared. Bastards. We'll see what happens about that.
Okay. And you played at Rainbow Serpent this year.
I did.
Before Ben Coda and Chris Nanoplex, who are good friends of the pod. They featured earlier this... Well, they come on a couple of weeks after Rainbow for us. What was the best Australian act or even just act that you saw at Rainbow yourself? Did any stand out?
Oh, that's... to be honest, this Rainbow for me, like I adore Rainbow Festival. I'm not hiding the fact that it's my favorite festival in the globe. And I'm not sucking up. It's just good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Since the first time I was playing it, and then the Eclipse Festival,
Yep.
and then all the Rainbow
Yep.
I played over the years. It was just
Yep.
personally as an artist, it was amazing. And they also choose the music I like the best out
Sure.
of all the festivals in the circuit.
Did you get to hang
And
around?
then I always get hammered there. And like,
Perfect.
and like I have to go aside not to make myself like a.
D-Nox on the Monday was very special.
Yeah.
Did you get to see that?
I did not.
Oh,
I
okay.
did not. So this specific Rainbow, I was really heavily jet lagged because I took a gig in Brazil just the weekend before,
Yeah, that's right.
and I had to come back to Australia via San Francisco where I live,
Oh,
and
yeah,
it was
wow.
just a bit too much
Yep.
for me.
And you've only just arrived here today. Where have you come from today?
From San Francisco,
San
but
Francisco.
that's an easy one because
Yes.
just one flight is
It's not
16
the-
hours.
it's
It's
not the
fine.
2-day
But coming back from Sao Paulo to San Francisco and same day
Yep.
to Australia, killed me.
Yeah, right.
I do remember I did go see and listen to Superflu,
Yes.
and I just adore this act. They're amazing. They're
Sure.
doing such a good music. They're a really big influence on me.
Yep.
And they're really special in their music.
Yep.
I didn't hear Patrice Bowell playing, but he was on repeat in my car, and he's amazing too.
Okay.
And regarding the rest, I wasn't really participative
Yeah.
in this festival, unfortunately. I couldn't.
No, that's all right. What were you listening to on your way here this time, on the flight over, or even on the drive to this event?
Well, I've been playing in this organization for this organization in many various events.
Yes.
I know them personally. They're good
Yeah,
friends.
very good team here.
And
Paradigm.
and I was actually really exciting playing on a Bush Techno Stage.
Yeah.
Which because there I was feeling free to play my own stuff that is a bit slower, a bit quirkier, and playing with After Tetramet or with
Yeah.
Tetramet in the same lineup is always awesome. He's
Yes.
a good friend,
Yep.
and basically I really had a good time, you
Yep.
know.
What
And
was-
I was into a good time from the first moment.
What was the song that you played? You might not even remember, but the song you played after Manifestation. Do you remember that?
Actually, it's an unreleased track.
Well,
with
that's why I didn't know it. Because what is this one? It's got a real dirty grind to it.
It's an unreleased track with Dixter.
Okay.
We do it from time to time when I'm in London. He takes me
Cool.
to his studio, and he's an awesome guy. And that's a message to you, Dick. You owe me the fucking files. I'm sorry. I'm waiting for them for half a year already.
Come on, Dick,
and
stop.
I'm ready to accept them and to
Yep.
yes, fix it. You know,
How do you go
Release-
collaborating across the
bring
world?
him on. Bring him on.
How do you go collaborating with other artists? Like, obviously, you'll get in the studio together, but then when you are on opposite sides of the world, How does that communication go? And
I'm really bad in collaborating and via internet. I'm
Yep.
super bad about it.
It's not as fun,
I'm just too old for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the vibe of people sitting in
Mhm.
a studio and sharing energies.
Yep.
And you know, the thing is, when you're in the same studio, because it's not really as you as a band, you everybody playing something. It's not. You know, you have one computer, one keyboard, so one guy does. You know.
Yeah.
But the presence of another entity in the same little space
Yeah,
is
and
really
feel it.
important. You know.
Yeah.
And for me, it's awesome and it's important. I don't know. I have a really hard time to just get files and then
Yeah.
do something and send it back. And I don't know this ping pong. But that's why when I'm coming to London, every single time I tell Dick, hey, I'm over. Are you home? Yes, I'm home.
Let's get it
Okay,
going.
2-3 days. No, because you know, we come together 48 hours.
Yeah.
You know. And it's done.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know, it's really nice, you know,
Yeah.
and it's awesome. I really love these little sessions that, you know, they really work out. And
Big
we
stuff, send the
sampled the
files.
mighty Mick Jagger.
Jagger.
Yeah, so it was nice.
Yes.
Maybe you delete this? No, no.
Is there any artists that you haven't got to collaborate with that you would like to?
Oh. Well. Yeah. Roger Waters? No, seriously. Probably X-Dream I would love to. Or Simon Posford.
Oh, some possible. Yep.
But I'm really happy about my current situation of collabs.
Yes.
And the thing that I really like to do now
Mhm.
is writing my own music back again. That what I'm doing. I
Yeah.
have a new awesome studio in San Francisco. Finally, I built one.
Mhm.
It's a really new one. I
What's-
finished it just 2
what's it
months
called?
ago.
Have you named
Perfectly
it?
Strange Studio.
Perfectly Strange Studio.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is, and it took me a lot of time because, you know, having family, being in a different
Mhm.
land and everything.
Yes.
I was making music on the headphones for way too long, and now I have amazing studio with
Mhm.
awesome sound system.
Yep.
And I've been doing a lot of techno recently, bringing my Digital Structures label.
So
Up,
is
you
that the
know.
home of Digital Structures then? Like that's what I was.
Yeah,
What
it's like
is it?
Digital Structures will be celebrating its 10th years with me next year.
Sure. So how many other artists are involved with that?
Many. Digital Structures basically is a home for those artists that create music that is basically doesn't belong to a specific genre,
Mm-hmm.
and they let their creative juices going whenever
Mhm.
or wherever.
Sure.
And if it sounds good, we take it.
Yeah.
In many cases, it's the ideas are awesome. Productions not so, because young artists.
Yes.
Then I ask them if they mind giving me the stamps.
And then you
I
polish it
give
up a
them
bit? Yep.
So I'm the ghostwriter for many.
Cool.
But it's the whole thing, because I really believe in our scene.
Mm-hmm.
If you made something, you made yourself to be in a certain place that you actually can provide yourself, your family. You need to give back to your
Yeah.
community
Yeah.
and bring people forward.
Sure.
And we're trying to do that, you know.
Yeah.
I really like running underground label.
Mhm.
Of course, I'm not completely hippie and I really want to succeed, but
Yes.
I like the way I'm doing it, and that's the right way to do it.
Yeah. How do you
Yeah.
balance that? Trying to not become mainstream or commercial with.
I just can't.
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't know how.
Yeah.
If I knew, I would.
You mentioned about being on the road and making tunes in headphones a lot. First of all, how old are your children?
How old is she? My daughter, she's over 3 years old
Yeah,
now.
what's her name?
Zoe.
Zoe. Hi, Zoe. And
Hi, Zoe.
and hi
Daddy's
to
here.
Mrs. Stranger
I love
as
you,
well.
miss you.
Life on the road must be tough. What do you do, I guess, to keep yourself busy and to kind of not be so lonely? Do you liaise with other artists a lot? Are you making music while you're traveling?
Well, I really like, since I moved to California, it's became really tough business, because being in California, like in Israel is really close to everywhere except Australia.
Sure. So why did you move to California?
Yeah. I found love.
Yeah, so she's from there?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so it's like moving to California was a really bad business idea for me, because I
Mm.
would definitely
Yeah.
far more satisfying living in Israel because everything is close to Israel. Flights are not expensive. My regular trip from Israel to Europe would be 24 hours and I'm back. From California it's 3 days.
Yeah, sure.
And it's a really long flight and it's tough, you know. But things you do for love, you know.
Yes.
And I'm really loving the vibe in California, to be honest. North California is awesome and it's really laid back. It really reminds me of Victoria, of Melbourne. I think
not on days like with the weather like this, but
actually we had a really rainy winter. It was
Yeah.
But I don't mind it, you know. It's I like I'm really more suffering in 40 degrees Celsius rather than like in a rainy day.
Agree.
And well, on the road I have longer trips. I try to work to make some music. I have the whole label to keep up with. I have artists. I'm not doing bookings for artists, but I still need to be on top of everything because I don't have people that work for me.
Yes. So you're the one man shop.
I'm kind of a one man show because we have actually a Berlin branch with two awesome people, Golan Bayawaka and Josie.
Yes.
Josephine. Two amazing DJs, and they've been collecting compilations for us. Josie is about to collect one more.
Awesome.
I have a partner and co-manager in Israel by the name of Gabi Tubi with few releases on than a few releases on Digital Structures.
Yep.
He's also doing compilations for the label and will be with one later this year. So they all help me, but being the head means being on top of everything. So it takes a lot of time, and basically you at all times when you have nothing to do, you have so much to do. And then you have, for instance, nowadays where Game of Thrones is coming up, you need to watch all these seasons again. It's so tough. The life is just miserable. Watching oh man, it's hard. It's tough, man. It's tough.
Well, I'll tell you what's tough is I'm sitting on a couch with Perfect Stranger here at Paradigm 2019. Neelix just played Just Like Me, the remix with Vok, which is probably one of my favourite Neelix songs, which has now gone into Angels of Destruction. So that's in the background while we're sitting here. Paradigm 2019. Melbourne, you are the absolute coots. Thank you very much for having us.
It's amazing. Amazing.
I don't want to keep you too long. You're about to go to your after party gig at My Aeon, which you've played at many times.
Correct. Last time it was full house with a DXM production. Am I right?
I believe you are because, mate, I don't know what it is, but any time in my life where I'm a bit unsure of what's going on or get a bit lost, you seem to pop up and play a gig at whatever city I'm in. And
that's manifestation, bro.
Just to well, that's the manifestation while we're sitting here, because when you were playing out there, I'm like, hey, we should have an interview while Neelix is playing my favourite songs. So, you know, that's manifestation. So thanks, Eka.
Yeah, see, it works, eh?
I talked to Mandra Gora earlier and asked him this as well. When you're making a song, do you come up with a hook or find a vocal, like you said, with your wife and then build a song around it? Or do you already have a track kind of made and then, hey, what am I going to chuck in here?
Oh, actually, I'm first writing.
Yeah.
I'm doing the music. I like the groove first.
Yeah, get the groove.
The groove, it has to be fat. It has to be interesting. It has to be really like juicy and like it has to talk, you know. So many people say that they hear something talking in my rhythms many times. So that's what I'm looking to make. I
think that's where I hear that manifestation. It's just your rhythm.
Building. So there are many tracks of mine that there's like when you hear them, they say something, you know.
Yeah.
I have this track Lizard with Ethan Reiter.
Yes.
There's this TV squeaking there, and it says something in Hebrew that is so funny, you know.
Yeah.
And nobody hears it but me.
Yeah.
And then when I come to these people and I say, "Did you hear just that was said?" It was like, "Oh my God!" You know, it's like, that's the whole thing, you know. But the samples they came late. They come in my creation.
Yeah.
The samples come later.
Yeah, sure.
And
well, I actually say that with that manifestation part that we were discussing earlier. When I think I hear a manifestation, I'll say to people, "Can you hear that building?" And they're like, I can't hear him say manifestation. And then the drop will come and it goes, manifestation. And like, oh, there it is. It tricks them a bit. But you did the song with Grouch as well, with the Family Guy. Oh, no, she did it.
Oh, yeah. That was my idea.
Of course. Another good one with Amos, Ripped to Shreds. Ripped to Shreds.
Oh, yeah, that's he's so talented, this guy.
So I guess what I'm getting at is with those good vocal hooks and how do you focus a lot on cutting them up and building them into
No,
the
but
tune, or
actually,
is it-
the thing is that with Grouch it was different because we were making a track, and I was to be completely honest. At that very specific point of time, I wasn't in my forte,
yeah,
and I wasn't really into writing music.
Sure.
And we were really good buddies. I like to meet him. I like his family. I like his wife.
yes,
And I just stayed at his house and was doing stuff, was playing around, and the groove was really nice. And actually, all these perfectly strange melodies in the track.
Yep.
Oscar was writing. I was like, oh, that sounds like Perfect Stranger. Let's do it.
yeah,
So he was writing it, and then I was like, I don't know, maybe you look like into this like some silly samples from cartoon or something, and then we're just listening to stuff, and then we came up to this Family Guy thing, and it's, oh, this one, and they go like, now we need to do triplets.
yeah.
We got to do triplets, and then it was just became of a joke, this little triplets thing, and then go back to the. Well, it's really an amazing track,
It's a very fun one to play, that's
Yeah.
for sure. Another track, just in my mind, the one I was going to talk about. Did you guys have any questions that you wanted to ask at all, or anything?
How old were you when you started making music?
How old were you when you started making music?
Oh, I actually started you mean trance music?
Like-
Well, I wasn't writing music when I was playing the guitar. I was just playing some blues,
Sure.
So I started writing music at the age of 27.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you don't have to be a young prodigy.
a bit late.
Yep.
A bit late, yeah.
There's hope- there's hope for a show.
I never planned it. It wasn't
Yeah.
something that
So what were you doing before you started making music?
I was traveling.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually like a year before. I was actually raving in Melbourne, and then my mom got really sick, and I'm the only child. She called me, and I
Yep.
was nursing my mom for a year.
Does she
and
still live in Israel?
No, my mom died after
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
man.
she was cancer,
Okay.
tough cancer. And then actually after that, I was at home, and I actually was kind of lost. I was about to go studying,
Mm-hmm.
which I did anyway. But I had a birthday, and then all my friends came in, and all the people that I traveled with.
Mhm.
Like I was traveling, playing the guitar, whatever.
Yep.
And they told me, look. We don't know how to tell you this, but we think you need to make trance music. I said, oh, really? And then they present me with a check,
Oh, really?
and they go like, go buy yourself a synthesizer. Good start,
Yeah.
So I was lucky because at these days
So this
to
was
make
your
a
20 that was a
studio was
27th
really
birthday present.
expensive. But since my mom was gone and I
Mhm.
got some money,
Mm-hmm.
I just said to myself, hey, it would be nice to have a studio and
Yep.
just like sit there and just take it all out,
Sure.
So that's what I did.
What did you study?
Psychology for a very short while.
Yep.
Because then I understood I just need to read the books and
Sure.
it's boring stuff.
Yeah. So
And then I studied acupuncture.
I guess what was it like studying psychology? Is that I guess that is implemented into your music then, because your music has nearly all the tracks are positive messages.
No, but I was bored. So I didn't even attend to my first semester tests
Yeah,
because it wasn't boring. I just the idea, the way you need to study to achieve a certain number of grades to go on.
Mhm.
It's I don't know. I didn't like the system,
Yep.
and then I just changed. I just stopped just even before the exams. And next year I was already studying acupuncture,
Sure.
and that's where I graduated. I'm like acupuncturist and herbalist.
Cool.
It's much more.
Right. So after this,
I think
I'll
that
be
I'm
on
much
this
more
couch and you can
communicative.
give me a nice little acupuncture session.
Back rub. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yep. The name Perfect Stranger.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that, or why are you perfectly strange?
Looking back, it's a great name,
Mm-hmm.
and I was explained why by some people
Do you remember
very later on.
Yeah.
But when I chose it was because I really like a tune made by Sandman called Perfect Strangers.
Mm-hmm.
And there is also a really nice song named Perfect Strangers by Deep Purple.
Yep.
And I always thought that it's a really cool name.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very kind of an exciting name. It's very
Yeah.
mysterious.
It
you know?
is.
And then I was actually it was in Tulum, in the end of
Mhm.
Mayan's table.
Yes.
In the end of 2012, I was having a walk on the beach with Sebastian from Minilog,
Okay.
and we were having a chat. I really like this guy. He has a lot of he's smart. He's not wise,
Yeah.
and he told me, you know why your name is so awesome? And I go like, tell me. And you go like, because everyone is a perfect stranger.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's so exciting
Mhm.
because it's a name that appeals to anyone. It doesn't matter what music you make.
Yes.
You know? So yeah, never thought about it.
Well, one thing about Perfect Stranger, and the first time we saw you at Boom, a couple of my good friends, one of the favourite things they love to see you do is you get on the trot. They call it this dance move that you do. They say you get on the trot. So anytime we see you on the trot, we always send a photo. I had to send a video tonight. You were doing that one.
Yeah,
I just said to my friends we couldn't make it tonight.
Captain Hook thinks I'm doing the things with the shoulders all the time.
Where are you off to next?
To my Aeon.
Yes.
Of
Sorry,
course.
after Melbourne.
Oh yeah, so I had
Costa?
so now since I'm a father and I'm responsible, so I'm trying. Yeah, well I have to.
Yep.
So I'm doing this thing that I'm taking 2-3 weeks that I'm really
Mhm.
going hard for it, and then I try to spend time with family and
Yeah, sure.
to do my fatherly duties, and
Okay.
that also helps me to stay in the studio a little bit, and these travels from California are really tough,
Yeah.
so that's good for me, for my health as well.
Um,
So that's gig here is a third
yes.
weekend in a row, and
Mhm.
previously last weekend I was in Israel, so it's another quite long travel.
Yep.
So I'm happy to say I'm gonna be 3 weeks at home.
Very
Yeah.
nice. And look, I'm not silly. The reason you've scheduled that to be flat out now, and then you'll be 3 weeks at home, late May, early June, the NBA playoffs will be on.
Oh no! After that, I'm going to Switzerland and Israel again.
Okay.
But NBA playoffs.
Yeah. Do you go to many games in the Bay Area?
I used to
Yeah.
until KD came in, and the prices are, oh my God.
Yeah, I've heard that
It's
they
impossible.
Well, they're
But
about to move.
But to
they're
be
about move
honest,
across the Bay.
I don't want to be rude, but Golden State Warriors, they play their worst in the last 5 years.
Mm.
It's really hard to see them.
Do you think they'll make the finals?
I think they're gonna win. Anyway,
I can see them in Philadelphia in the finals.
I can see them. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I can see the Greek Freak and then
You
versus
reckon, though,
them.
mate?
Yeah, I think.
If he doesn't get MVP, it's a travesty.
But it's gonna be interesting for sure.
Yeah.
And I really this year I couldn't even watch many games.
Mm.
I don't know why. I just that game wasn't as amazing as it used to be.
Yeah.
However, having said that,
Yes.
today they played Minnesota. They lost by 1, but Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Well, I've been locked in here.
This
I haven't got
little
to see the
guy,
score. What did
this
he have?
little guy, 11 threes,
Oh, of course.
amazing. Like, oh my God,
Mhm.
it's unbelievable,
Yeah.
unbelievable. I love this game.
Well, the first time I did meet you was at that Yamaya. Yep. And you were rocking the Steph Curry jersey. I had the Dellavedova jersey.
I did.
So it was interesting to see that their careers, they got to battle after they went to the
I
finals.
know. I have also Thompson one. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why you wear the 11 when you did the DJ gig here. You had the Clay Thompson 11.
Yeah. That
Your
Thompson.
album's 11.
I like the Thompson because it's like it's slate. It's
Yeah.
like looking really cool. I was like, since I got married, my wife looks that I'm looking decent.
Okay. One final question before we go. If you could ask, this is one thing that I finish all interviews with, and you don't have to rush it, but if you could ask any person or being from any time, living or dead, any question, who would you ask and what's the question? So while you think about that, this is Perfect Stranger. He's just finished up on the Bush Techno Stage. Paradigm 2019. It's been an awesome day. Neelix is just finishing up now. Thank you so much to the team. All this and more will be found on trentoff.com as well as the Paradigm social media pages. Yuli, thank you very much. Who would you ask that question?
Thank you. I would probably, actually there would be probably a lot of people I would like to ask a lot of questions, but I would definitely go to Jimmy Page
Yeah.
and ask him to play a couple of riffs in my studio.
Oh, very nice. With the record button held down, of course. Well, I've never told anyone what my answer to the question is, but when I came up with that question, I was actually listening to one of your sets. So the answer to mine is I would walk up to a stranger and ask them, what is your name? So there we go. We might have to cut that off because I don't want everyone to hear that, but that's my little one. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Trent.
You always make our lives better. Please keep doing what you're doing. Don't ever stop. But just get on Philly's bandwagon instead of the Warriors, would you?
I'm always happy to come here. Always. Thank you, Trent.
Don't forget.